right. And don't start with really heavy weight. Don't try to go macho. You'll hurt yourself. And it's such a stupid way to hurt yourself. You could get a serious, legit workout with like 35 pounds. And I know you're like, Joe, I'm way more manly than that. I know you are. I know you are. I am too. But yet, I can get an awesome workout in with 35 pounds. You'd be seriously impressed. And you're way better off going light and doing it correctly. We sell DVDs on them, like the Keith Weber Kettlebell Cardio Extreme workout DVDs 1 and 2. They're fantastic. It's a great thing to do. You just do what he does. Like, just he said, ready, go, and he does it with you. So it's like it forces you to do some shit that you would ordinarily stop. You would quit. You would take a breather, but he's not breathing, so you're not going to either. You're going to go through it. There's a bunch of them. We have a bunch of packages for sale. There's the 2 extreme kettlebell cardio DVDs from Keith Weber, but we also have some instructionals on how to work out with dumbbells, which we also sell. What we're trying to do is sell all things that work for what you would call functional strength. Like there's a lot of exercises that people do at the gym that they don't really enhance your athleticism or functional strength. I mean, they don't really translate into sports. They just make your biceps bigger. And if that's all you want to do, that's fine. But this can do that as well, and it will really translate into actual physical performance. We have tons of supplements. If you use the code Rogan, you'll save 10% off any and all supplements. .com, ONNIT. And it's here. Yeah, party started.
All right.
Music.
The Joe Rogan Experience.
Train by day, Joe Rogan podcast by night, all day.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me. Super excited.
Kasparian,
yes.
That's the right way to pronounce it, from Young Turks, which is, you guys are like the new media, right? It's like
yes.
There's old media and there's new media.
Yeah, establishment media, new media. I'm actually working on a book about it. I mean, I'm not 100% sure that it's going to be published, so I don't want to, give too many details. It's something I'm working on now. But I got to experience that transition from establishment media to new media, and there are really important differences and just this whole media revolution that's happening. It's really exciting for anyone who's interested in journalism, and I mean, you're part of it with this podcast.
Allegedly.
You are.
Allegedly.
And it's a really great way for people who want to be heard without being censored. I can basically say anything I want on my show without worrying about anyone telling me, hey, you can't say this, you can't say that.
Yeah.
We have corporate sponsors. We got to make sure the advertisers, continue giving us money.
What's fascinating is all you have to do is be interesting, entertaining, informative, and that's it. It doesn't have to have CNN on it or Fox on it or any of these other names that we've attributed to meaning what the news is, where the news comes from.
Definitely. I mean, when I first started working at TYT, it was this unknown show. It had been around for a few years, but it was a really big risk for me to work there because I was working at CBS Radio at the time. And CBS Radio had a very clear path for me. You start off as an assistant producer, you will work your way up, and if you're good enough and persistent enough, you'll be an anchor and you'll be fine. You'll be set for life. With TYT, it was just this huge risk because it was unknown. I didn't know if it would survive. At the time, it was on this radio station called Air America. I don't know if you heard of it.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
For folks, the TYT stands for the Young Turks.
Yeah, the Young Turks.
You're on a plane with no Google, and you're like, what the fuck is
So I just remember being really unhappy at CBS, feeling like, even if I get to the top of the ladder within this company, I'm not going to feel fulfilled doing what they're doing. And the first day I worked at the Young Turks, I heard Cenk Uygur, the host of the show, go on this rant against the Bush administration and some of the ridiculous, civil liberty violations, civil liberties violations that they were guilty of, not even accused of. And I was like, wow, you do not see this in the media. You don't see this type of honesty. You don't see people go off like that. They're usually very senatorial whenever they're doing any type of commentary. And I was tired of it. I wanted some real news coverage. So that's why I made the decision that I made, and I left, and thank God I made that decision because TYT actually succeeded in big ways.
In what year do you think it was where, it started to shift? Because it seems like To me, it's maybe 3, 5, whatever years it is, but within the last few years, there's this shift where my friends don't ever talk to me about what they saw on CNN. They don't talk to me about what they saw on Fox News. It's always, I read this online, I watched this online, I saw the Young Turks, I watched this show, I watched this guy's podcast, and this guy said, I mean, everybody that I talk to is talking about stuff that they're getting, when they're talking about real issues, they're talking about stuff they're getting online.
Yeah, well, a lot of things have changed. People don't rush home to watch a newscast anymore. And people also know that there are corporate interests involved in traditional media. You know, you see advertisements for things that you can't even buy on traditional media. Like, I see advertisements for this company called Siemens. And I'm like, what are they trying to sell me? And you realize that they're not trying to sell the consumer anything. It's a form of control over the network. BP has a bunch of advertisements on mainstream media. And if they are the people that are paying your bills, you are less likely to be critical of their business practices. So with traditional media, you have that issue, and I think people are now more and more aware of it. And with online media, it's on demand, okay? It's raw. We say whatever the hell we want without worrying about censorship. And people like that. There's something really refreshing about it. You know?
Well, they didn't have it before. They didn't think they could. And they thought if they did, it probably would come in an uneducated form.
Exactly.
Probably be some idiots who are saying stupid things that don't even ring true. But instead, there's intelligent people, and they're like, fuck this. And you're like, whoa, hold on.
Yeah.
Like, these people are actually articulate. They look like they went to school. Like, this is a new thing.
I actually think that it's a perfect example of the free market deciding, because I don't think that the American people are stupid. I think that they can decide and determine whether or not someone is intelligent enough or credible enough to cover a particular story. So a perfect example of that is I'm not a science reporter. So whenever I attempt to cover science news, the audience tears me apart for it, as they should, because that's not my expertise. My expertise is political commentary, social commentary, and that's usually the stuff that does really well on the Young Turks when I cover it. And so the audience decides, and they will let you know. With mainstream media, it's really difficult for you to voice your opinion if you don't like the coverage, right? You might write an email, but you don't know if anyone's ever going to see it. With our show, we're on YouTube. We get constant feedback, and a lot of times it's not constructive, but sometimes it is constructive.
I like how you said it like that.
Yeah.
That might be the lowest form of human on the planet, is the YouTube commenter.
There are some pretty hideous people on there.
If you looked at it like just per numbers, like per capita, it's got like 40% assets.
Okay, so let me give you an example of something that enraged me the other day. I literally lost it in our studio, and everyone's like, you need to calm down. We covered this story about this guy in Massachusetts who was going around taking upskirt pictures with his cell phone. Okay, so cops finally caught him back in 2010, and now he's going to stand trial for it. And he's actually suing the government because he feels that his First Amendment rights have been violated. And his female lawyer is arguing that since these women are in a public place, they have no reasonable expectation of privacy, therefore he should be allowed to take upskirt pictures of them. How absurd is that argument? Anyway, we cover it on the show, we share our opinion on it, and I would say like about 1/3 of the audience was like, yeah, they're right, yeah, Hannah's a dumb bitch, she doesn't know anything, First Amendment rights, and it's like, what am I supposed to do with these types of situations? It's really frustrating.
That's those women are lawyers for gangster.
That's some gangster shit right there. That's like some traitor shit right there.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I'd be very curious to see if she would be okay with this dude, with her own client, taking upskirt pictures with her or of her. And another argument she made was, what? I mean, all these women were wearing underwear. We didn't see their badge, so it's okay.
Wow, that's very gangster of her.
Yeah.
Is that just what happens when you get into the business world? You get into the corporate world, and you become a lawyer, and it's about winning and losing, and
Definitely.
you go on the client and just argue it, even though you sold your own vagina.
I know,
She sold her own vagina.
I don't know what she looks like, but maybe she has nothing to worry about. Maybe no one wants to get an upskirt picture of her, and that's why she has no problem making these arguments in court.
Well, maybe she's just dying for someone to get a picture of her.
Maybe.
She's just a freak. That could be it too.
Definitely.
Yeah, that's a fucking big leap that those women lawyers made. They just decided fucking straight to hell.
I was really surprised by that. But look, when you have there's like financial gain involved, then okay, I guess I can kind of understand where you're coming from. You're a lawyer and you're trying to make some money, I guess. And it's really difficult for lawyers right now to even get cases, to get work. So maybe that plays a role in it. But what really bothers me about it is we have a progressive audience. Like, our audience is pretty liberal. So whenever I see that kind of response to a story like that, I'm always shocked. I'm like, wait, you guys are okay with this?
It's just men. It's just most men who are raised by shitheads. That's a lot of it. It's a big part of it. The real problem is they don't even realize they're being shitheads because their dad was a shithead, their brother was a shithead, they grow up in a community of shitheads. They don't even realize it. It's just ape behavior.
And there's also a possibility that they're just straight out troll. Like, they don't even believe what they're saying, but they're doing it to get a response like this. They just won. They just won, and I'm totally aware of that. But
Yeah.
And I remember being in the studio, like, reading the comments, and I was like, what the fuck? Why? What am I doing with my life? Does it matter? And I started feeling really bad about it. But then I was like, you just can't let that stuff get to you. You gotta take it with a grain of salt.
Yeah, you can get caught up in an online troll war. You guys actually made fun of me, the young Turks did, because I got in an online MySpace thing.
I don't even remember
It was
this.
a long time ago, but he was right. I would have made fun of me if I was me. I shouldn't have had this interaction with this kid. This kid getting harassed over and over again. It was during the MySpace days, and no one knew like how to handle that yet. It was like the new thing that someone could just contact people.
Yep.
And so some people would just contact people and go, "Why have you not killed yourself?" And you would get an email from someone saying, you're horrible. You should, you should eat glass. Whatever.
Yeah.
You get like a lot of those in a day. Like, what the fuck? Like, this is weird. This is a new thing.
Interesting. I get dick pics regularly.
Really?
Regularly.
Geotag them, and you should put the re-upload them online. Let everybody know where that sweet dick is hiding.
I've considered that, but a lot of times they'll send me the pictures on Facebook because I have a fan page on Facebook, and every once in a while I'll check the messages, and they're so stupid because all of their private information is on there, like where they work, who their girlfriend or their wife is, and part of me wants to forward it over to their girlfriend or wife, but I'm too nice. Like, I don't want to ruin their lives over their perverted behavior.
Well, that's very kind of you.
Yeah.
Not do that. Didn't a guy recently lose his job because they found out he was a Reddit troll. And it's like, he would do evil shit on Reddit. And some people said, all right, who is this guy?
Yeah.
And then they found, who this guy was. And it was a character that he was playing, to blow off steam. He would be allegedly. He would just be really evil and nasty online.
A small part of me felt kind of bad for him because he had a family to take care of, and it's gonna destroy his life. And I get it. Online anonymity allows people to blow off steam in that way. And a lot of people right now, because of the economic crisis, because of all the crap that's going on in the government, all the death and destruction that's around us constantly, a lot of people need some sort of outlet. And so they will use online anonymity to do that, to say hideous things to other people because that makes them feel good about themselves. And I think that if you're a mature adult, you can just ignore them and step away. I'm not interested in censoring them. I know that YouTube is trying to work with their comments so those negative comments get pushed back to the bottom or whatever and no one can read them. I just feel like, the internet should be an open forum for the most hateful people if they want to be hateful. And we as adults have to have thicker skin and just walk away and not let it get to us. And it's hard to do. It still gets to me. I mean, that's what I opened the show with.
I like the way YouTube handles it. If too many people say this comment's retarded, then they eliminate it. But you can always see it. If you wanted to show the comment, you can still show the comment.
And they're slowly getting rid of anonymity, where they're attaching the comments to a Google Plus account, so it'll be easier to identify who that person is. I'm not necessarily against that. I just feel like I don't want to move closer toward censorship online. I love that it's an open forum, even though there are negative aspects to it that impact my life. So.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. I think it's an important method of criticism that was never available before. We have a very honest view of what you do and what people like, when they like what you do, when you don't. And even if it's really hypercritical, overcritical, if they have a point, that point probably would have never gotten to you during any other era. And if you want to really analyze what you're doing and try to figure out what's the best way to hone this, and they'll give you a lot of input.
They definitely will. I will say that my political views have changed significantly since I started working at TYT, and it's not necessarily because of my colleagues. It has a lot to do with audience feedback. For instance, what I thought about prostitution when I first started was very different from what I think now. I was definitely against legalizing prostitution. I was in favor of tough on crime legislation when it came to dealing with that. And then I realized, this is stupid. It's not keeping anyone safe. People are getting hurt as a result of, pushing this ban against prostitution. So I've changed my views on that. I think that we should legalize it and regulate it because that'll create a safe environment. And that's just one example of many.
Willie D from the Ghetto Boys said it best. Said you gotta let a hoe be a hoe.
I mean, if you have two consenting adults wanting to do that, exchange money for sex, why the hell not? It's amazing that we have this huge porn industry in the country, and as long as they do it in front of a camera, it's totally fine.
Yeah.
But if they do it behind the scenes, it's illegal.
Well, it's also weird that you can have sex with anybody you want for free, and I think there's no crime committed at all. But if the money's exchanged, somehow you become a friend of both parties.
Does anyone really have sex for free though? When you don't think about it?
Notice about you. I think, there's people where it evens out, where it's free on both sides.
No. But what I mean by that is usually there's something else involved. I'm not talking about money.
Right.
But there are emotions involved. There's an exchange of emotions. There's an exchange of something. It's
Fluids.
not. Oh.
You need to get rid of fluids.
True.
Yeah, well, there's obviously there's massive issues with men versus women as far as how they emotionally connect to sex, and also the need. I don't know what it's like to need sex as a woman. I'm sure it's a very specific itch. Whereas with a male, I'm pretty sure after all my years of observing men and women that it's a different animal. I think horniness for a man is very intoxicating, fogging, and confusing, and I don't know if it is for women. I think that's why a lot of women like to do cocktails first. They can light up the crazy furnace without.
I think the cocktails. I think men and women have similar sexual desire.
And I was when the markets were crashing and the government bailouts were going down. I was fascinated. I was like, how come nobody ever wanted to bail out the porn industry? Why would they pretend that the porn industry isn't this giant monster business that all of a sudden just evaporated? Half of it, three-quarters of it, I don't know what the number of it, that just disappeared.
Yeah, because of the internet.
Right. So who's pretending that this isn't a real business? Everyone's like, well, I guess they'll just have to exist on their own. Meanwhile, you're watching it. That person's a fan of it. He probably has a bunch of different videos that he has bookmarked on his laptop or something.
Yeah, definitely. But at the same time, which politician would come out and say, we need to bail out the porn industry? That would be political suicide. We live in this puritanical society. I mean, that would be insane.
Well, there's also